Now, a table is nothing more than just a box, or a collection of boxes to organize your data into. For example, I have here a number of houses sold by senior sales associates. What I want to do is I want to create a bunch of boxes here. Say, for example, have boxes listed over here to the left-hand side, and in each box, or cell, as they're called, relating to tables, I want to be able to list all the senior sales associates' names. So in the first box, I'll have Bob. In the second box, I'll have Susan. In the third box, I'll have George, etc., and keep listing them. And then let's say over to the right of those boxes, I'll have the number of sales they made for January. And then a list of boxes in another column over here for February, March, April, and May to organize the data, make it look clean. Now, you can go ahead and type in the person's name and hit the tab key and use tab stops or hit the space bar, which really isn't efficient. But I think you'll find that organizing your data into tables looks a lot cleaner and is more efficient. To get started, I want to ask myself, do I want to create a table above the text or below the text? If it's after the text, I'm going to click after it and hit enter a couple of times. Of course, I can come up to the paragraph group and click on the show hide codes. You can see I got a couple of hard returns. And then I'll come back and turn them off for us. And then I want to insert my table right about there, so I'll leave my cursor there, come up to the Insert tab, click on it, into the Tables group, and click on the Table button. You can see I got a list of options down below, but to keep it simple, when inserting a table, just use the top portion here. First of all, when I hover over the first cell, it's called a one-by-one table. It just means it has one row, one column, one cell. If I go down, you can see it's adding more rows down below, or in my document there, and it highlights them in orange. So now I have a 1x4 table, one column, 4 rows, and I can also hover over to the right to start breaking up those rows into columns. So now I have a 3x4 table, 3 columns with 4 rows. And all I have to do is click in the last cell here. Once I click it, it'll solidify the table behind me. Right now, I just got a preview. So I'm going to come back up to the top, and I want to create a 4x1 table because I want to be able to show you how to add more rows later. So let me go ahead and click in this last cell of a 4x1 table. When I click it, solidifies it, and then it also brings up my contextual tabs related to tables. I have the design and layout, and it only appears when I'm in the table. When I click outside of the table, those tabs disappear because I'm no longer working on a table. Word only knows if I'm working on a table if I'm actually inside the table, okay? Okay, my first cell here, it's going to be the heading for my column because I'm going to add additional cells down below, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, but it's going to be my column for sales associates. In fact, I'll just type associate. Just go ahead and type right in your cell. To get to the next cell, you can use your mouse and click in it, or I'm going to click back in the first cell and hit my tab key. And then this will be for the month of January, tab, Feb, tab, and March. Now if I want to go back, of course I can use my mouse, and I can click back in the other cells, but also you can hold down the Shift key and hit the tab key, and it will take me backwards. Hit the tab key to take me forwards, Shift tab backwards. Once I get to the end of my row and I want to be able to create a new row, just hit your tab key and it'll automatically create another row below with the same amount of columns. And I can continue. Type in Tim Jones, hit the tab key. Let's say he sold 54 or 55 houses in January, 33 in February, and 12 in March. Hit the tab key and you can see it just keeps going. Every time I hit tab at the end of the row, it adds a new row. Now if I need to delete some rows or insert some more rows or delete the table, you can do it one of two ways. First of all, when in doubt, you can always right-click. So for example, I'm going to right-click in this cell, and I can delete the cells in my shortcut menu. When I left-click on delete cells, it'll ask me, do you want to shift the cells left, do you want to shift them up, or do you want to delete an entire row? Well, I want to delete the entire row and click OK, and it's gone. Now, if I want to add a new row, you can come in here and hit the tab key, of course, but what if I want to add a new row in between the associate and Tim Jones, maybe somebody before that like Sherry? I want her to have her own row but be above Tim Jones. You can do it one of two ways. You can, like I said, when in doubt, right click and go to insert and say I want to insert a row above, but above what? You just got to make sure that you click in the right row, so when you insert above, it's going to be above that row, right? Or come back up here to the layout tab and then over here to the rows and columns group and say I want to insert above. Just by clicking on the button, just inserts above whatever row that your cursor was currently flashing in. Of course, I can click in here and come back to my Layout tab, coming over to my rows and columns and say I want to delete, but what do I want to delete? Let's delete the entire row, and it's gone. Now, if you want to delete the entire table, you can't right-click on the table and delete it. That won't work. Also, notice this little tag here. If you want to select the whole table, you can click on that tag and automatically selects the whole table. Now, I'm jumping ahead a little bit because I have other training videos on formatting your table, but you can select your table, and when you try to hit the delete key, it only deletes the text, not the table. So I'm going to go ahead and hit undo. So the only way you can delete a table, okay, is being able to come in the table, come to your Layout tab, and going over and clicking on the delete button and going down to delete the table altogether. Of course, I'm going to come up here and hit my undo button to bring it back up. Now you've been introduced to how to create a table, what tables are. You want to watch the other training videos so you can learn how to format these, actually do calculations within them as well. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.